Right. They don't even understand that you know, the way we grew up, you're supposed to spend no more than 10 or 20% of what you make. You know what I'm saying? So you can have some.
Just being with him everywhere, seeing nice things all the time since I was born. So I always knew that he was doing something. I mean, I don't know, it could have been anything. So I had a fun childhood, crazy childhood.
He was able to do it because, you know, like financially, I was supporting the idea, and I believe he could do it. He had moved to California and was working with acting coaches, and his dad didn't know that he was actually doing that.
What's the best memory of 50 Cent?
Best memory of 50 Cent? Ever since I met 50 Cent, he's always been stand-up and probably the most truthful person I've ever met.
Lil Meech got Richard Millie's Chrome Heart jeans, 10,000. I buy some Chrome Hearts for 10,000. I might wear them shits for a month, bro.
Big Meech and 50 recently had a falling out, as you are all aware, after Meech dated Rick Ross upon his release from prison. After becoming caught in the crossfire, Little Meech first tried to keep 50's favor. Big Meech recently attacked 50 Cent, saying that he had turned his son, Little Meech, against him. He declared that he had only loyalty for 50, but Little Meech and his father have since changed their minds and stated unequivocally that they will only be loyal to Rick Ross in the future. Big Meech seemed to be offended because 50 recently accused him of promoting substance usage and attacked his parenting skills. In an effort to get even with 50, the Fernery father-son pair is reportedly working with Floyd Mayweather and Rick Ross to produce their own version of the BM concert. But if fans think Floyd and Ross will help Big Meech and his son in any manner, they're in for another surprise, according to fans. In light of the allegations that these two will be cheated out of their remaining money, let's look at what Big Meech plans to do to exact revenge on 50 Cent and what 50 said about Big Meech's bad parenting of Little Meech.
From the hood to Hollywood that you gotta have, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you getting it. You know what I'm saying? See, people never seen how I really put it down, because unless you're a part of that, I'm not gonna let you see that. The only thing you're gonna see is us enjoying ourselves. That's what you're supposed to see.
Big Meech's refusal to let 50 Cent use his moniker is the reason the BM leader is seeking revenge. Having ridiculed Meech's parenting style and effectively accused him of being a bad influence on his son, Little Meech, 50 Cent broke up his relationship with Meech and started to hint that BM would be fired. Little Meech didn't take long to try to. He sent 50 a direct message to try to maintain his favor, making it clear that Big Meech and Rick Ross's relationship, which sparked all of this drama, was only for business. F. Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts, Small Meech wrote. I'm confused by this online stuff. I know you in real life, buddy. Nevertheless, 50 clapped back, effectively telling Lil Meech that his time on the show was done because he didn't want to hear any of that. What next season, Lil Ninja? 50 inquiries. In a later article, 50 ridiculed Lil Meech for committing an error with the bag and joked that Meech's next career after losing his place on BM will be at Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. 50 states, I'll give Mona Scott a call for him later today, but 50 wasn't done yet, as he returned to Big Meech and Rick Ross to challenge their parenting skills and uncovered old receipts he had removed. 50 used old footage of Lil Meech with Ross' daughter Toy Roberts from their relationship to further criticize Meech and Ross, pointing out that Ross did nothing for the Flannery family while Big Meech was in prison. Why, old boy, didn't you look out for me and send him to acting school? Big Meech, all your people, 50 wrote, was gone and did nothing to help him. So you came home thinking you were Pablo Escobar's black henchman and screwed him, 50 said. He had spent all the money he had earned from the BM scheme on Little Meech, after reminding everyone that he was the one who kept the Flannery family together while Big Meech was in jail. Helped generate over $5 million in actual income for your family. The loss of everything is not my fault. While some fans initially chastised 50 for abruptly ending his relationship with Lil Meech after Big Meech paired with Rick Ross, others contended that he had every right to feel duped considering all that he had done for the Flannery family. Some members of the industry nevertheless expressed their thoughts on the matter. Little Meech's response to 50 in that SMS was met with disapproval from one of them, Boozy, who said that Meech was being excessively courteous, especially after 50 had insulted his father. If it had been him in that situation, Bowie made it clear that he would have responded angrily for speaking to his father in a way that was comparable to...
Man, Meech, bro, I don't know. The Meech, I ain't like his response. It seemed like he got a genuine kind of love for 50 on his response. But, you know, my response, nigga, fuck you, nigga. Nigga, that's my daddy. Nigga, fuck you, nigga. Nigga, let's go to war. Nigga, fuck you. And everything you, nigga, fuck you. I don't know what Meech was on some. Nigga, that's my paw, nigga. I don't give a fuck. Right, wrong, nigga. I don't give a fuck, nigga. Is it? My son, nigga, you nigga, my nigga ain't gonna go against this grain. Fuck that. I was like, damn, you know, like, seemed like him and 50 got a, you know, cause after that thing came out how Meech was talking all, you know, like, no, nigga, fuck all y'all. I'm with my dad, nigga, you know, I ain't like his...
50 Cent, however, retaliated after seeing that Boozy had done far more for Lil Meech than Big Meech had ever done. He uploaded a video of Boozy's interview with the description, "I did more for Mimi than anyone in his life. Boozy, that's why he responded like he contacts me first if he is locked up, and I've always given him a handout." That's not the whole story though. 50 also revealed that he previously paid to get Lil Meech into a rehab center after finding out he was hooked. In another Instagram post, Whippets, commonly known as Laughing Gas, gave an explanation of why his relationship with Big Meech ended badly. He claimed that jealousy was the real reason, specifically Big Meech's displeasure of 50 and Lil Meech's closeness while he was in prison. According to 50 states, "Yeah, I think, after some consideration, that he was uncomfortable with my friendship with Mimi. When I expressed my disapproval of his doing X, Mimi says that he used to do it as if it were cool. Mimi should stop wasting all of her money. I advise her. He told me the little guy had Whippets in his truck. Russell Hornsby peeped, and he was high on the set. He also started throwing up during a weapons test. What the F is Whippets?" came my response. No one knew I had to send Mimi to treatment, but I informed him how much money he spent. I see that it's the ish in baby guns, but instead of backing down, Big Meech and Lil Meech are now swearing allegiance to Rick Ross, the same Ross that Lil Meech is fighting and taking some dangerous risks in an attempt to get even with 50. The most ridiculous part is that the father-son combination is working with Floyd Mayweather, another of 50's former rivals, despite 50 having stated in that text to him just a few weeks earlier that he had no affection for him. The last time Lil Meech was seen was in Miami with Ross and Floyd. In order to make sure 50 felt it, he posted images of the two of them on Instagram along with the message "Real Power," which references 50's Power franchise. A few days later, Lil Meech posted something enigmatic on Instagram once more, revealing that he and Big Meech had ties to Floyd, and in the description, he just included a shushing face emoji, implying that they were organizing something important. According to sources, Big Meech and Lil Meech are on the verge of entering into a business agreement with Floyd.
Big Meech and Lil Meech looks like they are officially partners with Floyd Mayweather. Now they're being very tight-lipped about the venture, but my guess is it is going to be big. Floyd Mayweather is a very, very competitive person, and he will pull out all the stops in his attempt to beat 50 Cent.
And although it's unclear what Big Meech and his son are doing with Floyd and Ross right now, there are suggestions that they might be developing a new television program or a movie about the Black Mafia family that would be different from the 1950s Stars BM series. A few weeks ago, Ross himself declared his desire to develop his own BMF movie.
Yeah. So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino. It's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big, I can feel it. I'm just talking.
Ross may have to change his mind about that movie proposal, though, as he would need to obtain 50 Cent's consent before beginning the film. According to people familiar with the situation, 50 now controls the film and television rights to the BMF tale, and this won't be changing anytime soon, TMZ reported. To further the BMF story, TMZ disclosed that 50's G-Unit film division is already working on Tammy Cowan's life story, in addition to the recent turmoil between 50 and Meech. Many people are now endorsing 50 and denouncing Little Meech for supposedly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Little Meech reportedly wasted all of the money he received from BMF without investing or conserving a dime. Over the course of a few years, he spent millions on pricey jewelry and clothes, and Little Meech wasn't attempting to hide his spending habits. He even boasted about spending $2 million on an iced-out watch and shared images of himself on social media wearing special chrome hearts pants.
You charged me $200,000 just for this Cuban. This Cuban is like 1,100 grams. It's chunky, real big. I really can't have this on for longer than 3 or 4 hours. My neck started hurting. You know, you might find a regular Cuban for 50 or for 100 maybe, but it's 200 just for a kilo.
What's the pendant cost?
3, just for the pendant. Right here, this is Antarctica. This is the big boy. This is Christine called it Antarctica. This is the chandelier. I might have seen DJ Khaled with this on. It's that big boy, you know.
How much is it worth?
$2 million.
Tony Yo claims Little Meech spent $5 million on jewelry, automobiles, clothing, and other things without making any investments to better position himself for the future. To make things worse, Meech was also behaving quite arrogantly, even suggesting to Lil Baby and others that they ought to donate money to Big Meech. According to Yeo, Little Meech spent $100,000 on jeans while pleading for money.
You know, he's still awaiting his case.
Okay.
You know, he's still sitting in jail.
Right.
But recently, I had Day 26 come do my show.
I think I've seen some of that interview, yeah.
Right. So I start talking to him, and, you know, I start talking to Q from Day 26, and he's talking about how, you know, you have sober Diddy, and then you have high Diddy. And, you know, you kind of have a different person depending on who you catch on that day. And he starts talking about how he read this one email, and he couldn't go into the details, but it had something to do with sacrifices and so forth. And he started to cry. And then the rest of Day 26 started to cry. Like, that's never happened to me. I've had people cry in my interviews, but I've never seen a whole group of men start to cry at the same time.
I don't get it. I don't know why somebody would do that to.
So you gotta think mentally what them went through over there, the Danity Canes, the Day 26. Cause for making you treating this artist like that, damn, that shit crazy.
What is even more ridiculous is that Lil Meech admitted that he had no idea what to do when he first connected with 50. But 50 saw potential in him, mentored him, and even paid for his 2 years of acting classes. Remember that 50 could have avoided it. He could have saved money by employing someone with real experience, but he chose to bet on Little Meech instead.
I was still trying to find myself. My dad was calling me from jail every day. He was like, man, what you gonna do? I'm like, shit, I don't know. I always knew I wanted to be my own person. It's just hard, you know, to live up to my dad's name. And he called me one day, he's like, man, they looking at Terrence Howard and Nipsey Hussle, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to play me, but you gotta go to acting class so you can get ready. So I met 50. 50 put me in acting classes for 2 years in LA. Invested in me, paid for the acting classes. I had to go every day, 2 times a day, 5 days a week. In the morning, in the afternoon, come back home, study again, do the same thing the next day.
Wow, a ball player.
Yeah, but I put in the work though, and it showed me that 50 couldn't get me the job. I had to get myself the job. My dad couldn't get me the job. They would have hired somebody else that already had acting experience. I had no experience, so I was coming from it.
And after 50, you would think they would have taken a chance on Little Meech and offered him a once-in-a-lifetime shot. Meech would have been extra careful not to wreck everything, but it appears like he thought he could live a nice life forever if someone just gave him millions of cash along the way. When 50 and Big Meech's conflict originally started, fans were genuinely sorry for Little Meech, and they even started scolding 50 for punishing Little Meech for his father's behavior, but fans are now reversing the trend, And many are starting to view 50 badly after Little Meech started hanging out with Ross and Floyd Mayweather and basically bumping his head. It's especially hurtful because just a few weeks ago, Little Meech publicly attacked Ross and swore allegiance to 50. The new speculations that Big Meech and Little Meech will work with Floyd Mayweather and Rick Ross on a BMF movie are already annoying fans regardless. Because Tammy Cowens, who helped make 50 Cent's BMF series a reality on Stars, purchased Big Meech's life rights, many are saying it won't work. As a result, Tammy now legally owns Meech's narrative instead. Ross, Floyd, and his kid are constructing their own version. It's unclear exactly how that would play out. Will the plot change entirely? Will they have to buy the rights again? Or is this just an attempt to influence 50 in light of the recent drama?
This outcome was always inevitable, right? This was always bound to happen. Big Meech, you betrayed 50 Cent. You betrayed 50. Why would you do that? Why? When 50 gave your son such tremendous opportunities, right? He gave him some of the biggest opportunities that he will likely ever experience. And that's not an understatement, because that's how big these opportunities were. That's how big BMF was, right? But what did you do? You squandered that. You got out of jail and you snaked 50. Why? You went with Ricky Rose, the CO. I think I'm starting to believe the rumors. Like, I mean, come on now. How you get out of jail and you go straight to the seat of former CO? Bruh, you should be having beef with Ricky. If anything, you should be having beef with Rick Ross. That's the same type of guy who was just telling you, oh, do this, who was just treating you like a slave. Just a couple before you was, a couple years back. That's the same type of person who was treating you less than a human being. That's exactly who Rick Ross is. No pun intended. I mean, I could not make this up. Bro is a former CO. He's the exact type of person who would have made you suffer, right? But what did you do? You got out of prison, you saw the money. You saw that Rick Ross was offering, he had a big bag to offer with no strings attached. You weren't gonna have to do any work. You weren't gonna have to be in any film. And you thought, oh, I need that. Oh, I'm getting that. And you betrayed the person who helped your family while you couldn't. That's sick. That's diabolical. I mean, come on. That's dishonorable. You understand? Like, come on, dude. Like, you at this point, you might as well commit seppuku. You feel me? Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that, dog? Why? Right? And so I understand why Fifth is upset. I understand why Fifth is looking for revenge. He's looking to catch you lacking. He's looking to hurt you. You know, he wants to see you suffer. He wants to see you meet your demise. You know, he wants to see you unalived. You know, right? This is not for no reason. This is for a very justified reason, in my opinion. And that's the snake behavior I just explained, right? You don't betray a guy like that. And I know Fifth, he doesn't, that's the thing about 50. He's not like other people. If he does a big favor for you, like, okay, if he's showing love to you, that's because he really rocks with you heavy. He really respected you a lot. He really respected your family, right? But it's the same difference if he doesn't like you. Now he's going to hold a grudge against you, and he's never going to forget. 50 doesn't forgive or forget, ever. You know, he holds that grudge eternally, right? If it's up, it's staying up. You understand? That's how 50 is with it. And so, yeah, you know, this is going to be an ongoing thing. There's always going to be a feud. There's always going to be a beef. He'll never let up. You know, anything that happens with Big Meech or Little Meech and it looks bad on their name, 50 is going to be clowning it. 50 is going to be putting it on Front Street. 50 is going to be blasting it so that everyone can see it and everyone can laugh at it, and their image can be ruined because he seeks destruction now. You understand? That's how he is, bro. He's like, he's like someone straight out of the 42 Laws of Power. Yeah, I think the 42 Laws or the 52 Laws of Power. You know what you know what I mean. I might have to, whatever. It's not even worth looking up the number. I think it's 52 Laws of Power. Y'all correct me if y'all want to. You get the joke, okay? But yeah, 50 is like someone straight out that book. Straight out the 42 Laws of Power book. Straight out of it. You know, and in that way is because like he doesn't forget, he doesn't forgive. You make an enemy with him, and that's your enemy for life. You know, he wants to seek destruction of you. He doesn't let go. He doesn't let up. He wants to completely eliminate you and extinguish all traces of you. You know, that means your entire bloodline. He would like to see your entire bloodline perish now because of how you betrayed him like this. I guarantee it, 100%. Because bro is just like someone out of that book he's just like that, bro. You know, so it's not surprising to me. I expect to see more things like this. I think that, you know, Big Meech put himself in a position where, yeah, now you have an enemy. Someone helped you out, you snake them out, you have an enemy now. You understand? That's how that works. And so we're going to see more things like this, and I think it's justified in my opinion. You understand? So let me know what you guys think about all of these things in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications. It's Noah's right here. Tuning out. Be easy, y'all.